Do you ever feel overwhelmed by the ever-changing world of technology? Tech It Out can help make some sense of it all. Breaking down geek speak into street speak, technology columnist, author, and TV personality Mark Saltzman covers consumer technology each week for every listener. Mark tackles the latest news, reviews, and how-tos to help you understand what's hot, what's not, and why.
Hey everyone, welcome to Tech It Out. This is episode 305. I hope everyone's day is going great so far as we head into the last week of July. Love this month. And hey, I'm heading off to Seoul, South Korea tomorrow to attend the Samsung Unpacked event on Wednesday in person. This is their biannual unveiling of cool new devices. Earlier in the year, it's the Galaxy S family of smartphones, like its flagship Galaxy S23. But this week, it'll be about the Galaxy Z family, which includes their foldable phones, like the Galaxy Flip, which looks like a flip phone from the 90s, but very high tech now with its OLED displays. And there's also the Galaxy Z Fold. A new version should be shown, which is a smartphone that unfolds to be a full 7.6-inch tablet. Very cool. I'll do an interview with Samsung for next weekend's Tech It Out, of course. Okay, on to this week's show. We do have a packed hour planned for you with 3 different guests. We're going to start off with Tamagotchi. Yep, it's back. Tamagotchi. We'll figure out how it's pronounced, but you remember that digital pet craze. Well, there's something brand new out this month. And speaking of kids, also on Tech It Out this hour, we'll have author, educator, and TV personality Meredith Sinclair. She'll chat with us about some high-tech toys for kids to keep families entertained this summer. But there is something for us grown-ups as well on Tech It Out. In a few minutes from now, you may not think bidets have a lot of tech to them, but we're going to chat with a company called Tushy. Yep, you heard that right. To talk about why bidets are finally catching on in North America after decades of popularity in Europe and Asia, and what tech they have to them. Specifically, we're going to talk about bidet attachments that connect to your existing toilet seat, which will save you money and space as well. All of this and more on an all-new Tech It Out, powered by Asus for those in search of incredible. I'll tell you more about Asus shortly, but let's officially kick off this week's Tech It Out with our first interview. They're back. Tamagotchi. Remember them? Bandai Namco Toys and Collectibles has a new Tamagotchi. Yep, those digital pets who were all the rage in the 90s and early 2000s. And now we have Tamagotchi Uni, available in purple or pink shells and with an included wearable wristband and some fun high-tech twists as well. Yet still remaining the affordable toy you remember. Joining us to tell us all about Tamagotchi Uni is Tara Beatty. She's Bandai Namco's Senior Director of Marketing. Hi, Tara. Thanks for your time today.
Thank you for having me.
Before we talk about Tamagotchi Uni, which is spelled U-N-I, please remind our listeners about what Tamagotchi is all about and the initial craze.
So Tamagotchi actually launched in 1996 in Japan, 97 in the States, and it was actually the very first digital pet. As most of you hopefully remember, back in 96, 97, they didn't have this thing called the mobile phone. So the digital pet for kids was very unique and special to them. Since then, we've been reaching out to kids of all ages, from kids to millennials, with a different version of the digital pet where you nurture and take care of your pet as if it was a real one. It wakes up in the morning, you have to feed it, you have to take care of it, you nurture it from an egg to an adult, you need to clean up after it poops, all this fun stuff and responsibility that you do from a nurturing perspective. And we've done various versions over the years.
And that leads us now to Tamagotchi Uni, out this month. What's it all about?
So Tamagotchi Uni really brings Tamagotchi to a whole new place, but it really does start with the core of what Tamagotchi's always been about, which is that nurturing. So it still wakes up in the morning, you still have to feed it, you need to take care of it. You need to make sure it's happy by playing games, giving it gifts, and you're still raising it from an egg to an adult. But what we've done is we've added different ways to make them happy and content and take care of them. So what's exciting about this one is Tamagotchi Uni, we like to say it's unique, united, and universal, hence the Uni name to it.
I like that.
So, So unique is because the characters, you can dress them up and you can make your actual device unique in the background graphics, but you can also put accessories on your character, and based on how you interact with the character means that your character will have different personalities. And so for United, we've been doing United since 2004 when we brought out the connections. And that means that the devices are able to unite. So you can actually go on play dates with the characters. You can actually even marry the characters. But we've actually brought United to a whole new level with the world of the Tamaverse. And in the Tamaverse, you can go into there and you can see characters from around the world up there, and you can interact. You can play games against them, challenge them. You can travel the world through the Tamaverse. The last one of Universal, it's actually the first Tamagotchi device that's focused like a core Tama device that will be globally. Usually Japan does one and the Western world does another. And this is the first one that we're doing globally. So when you go up into that Tamaverse, you are actually going to be your characters, not you, don't worry. The characters will be interacting with characters from around the world.
All right. So yeah, I was going to ask you about the target age and if parents need to be concerned about them talking with somebody over the internet, but that's not what we're talking about here.
No, not at all. First of all, our core fans are millennials. We actually, when we do research, we do find that our devices go across the ages from 6 through millennials. And actually, there's a lot of multi-generational play, to be honest with you. So there is no way that any external interactions can be done. It is all COPA CARU compliant.
And how does it connect over the internet? It's such a small little keychain device, no? Does it use Wi-Fi?
So there's actually a lot of different technologies in it. We do have Wi-Fi for the first time, but that's really just to upload our software and download some fun stuff. So we're able to kind of change up the gameplay throughout the year. But it's a technology that is more of an internal technology that we're able to kind of interact. The Tamaverse is on a shared board that I don't know the specific details on it, but you do connect into your local internet, but it's all from a software perspective.
Got it. Thank you. And have I been saying Tamagotchi wrong all these decades? You've been saying Tamagotchi.
Tamagotchi, yeah. So when I joined the company about 10 years ago, we changed it to Tamagotchi based on the fact that that's how it sounds in Japan.
Right. And I apologize to any of our Japanese listeners, but I do know that Tamagotchi is a combination of two words, tamago, which means egg, I think, and then ouchi is watch.
Tama is egg, you're correct. But gochi is really, it sounds like how Japanese says watch. It's not, doesn't mean it. It sort of sounds like it. This is from what I'm being told.
We are chatting with Tara Beatty. She is Bandai Namco's Senior Director of Marketing. We're learning about the all-new Tamagotchi Uni, not Tamagotchi, Tamagotchi Uni, available in purple or pink. And it is a keychain-sized device still, correct?
Correct. Actually, so about 2019, we came out with our first color screen, and then we came out with a new one in 2021, which is the Tamapix. And they were both pretty, with the technologies in it, they were pretty thick. So this one actually goes back to very close to be the same size as the original, slightly bigger and slightly thicker a little bit. Mm-hmm. But I think fans are going to be really excited to see it back to that smaller size that we've been doing for years.
And you can pop it in and out of the wristband, right? You don't have to wear it if you don't want to.
No, you don't actually. So you have the device that has core play with it. You can put it into the band and wear as a wristband. And as all Tamagotchis actually have, there is a way to actually attach a lanyard to it, which, right, I like to actually wear it more on my belt loop because I don't like things around my neck. But every Tama has that ability. And we are actually in the US on Amazon, we're selling a black band and a white band that's available on Amazon, as well as 2 different lanyards that are Tamagotchi uni focused.
Cool. Before we wrap up and talk pricing, tell us about the mini games. I think there's a dance off, and then there's like a feeding or like a fast food themed game.
Yeah, so there's 2 core mini games in the device itself. And you're right, one is a dance-off, which is hard. I have not aced that one yet. There's the fast food theme where you're supposed to serve burgers. It's one of my favorite. And then the third game in the device itself is actually something that changes seasonally. So the first quarter was an Easter egg hunt. You know, love our Easter egg hunts. And then now we actually have a fireworks game that's in there. It's actually a photograph game, I should say. You're supposed to take photographs of the fireworks scene. For third quarter, we'll have a different one, and fourth quarter, we'll have a different. But we also have the Tama Arena in the Tamaverse that will allow you to actually compete against those around the world.
Oh, neat. Maybe kind of like a Pokemon kind of battle, that kind of thing?
I don't think it's battling. It's like car racing and things like that. The games that are in the arena will change also on a regular basis.
Awesome. Thanks for that clarification. Do you need batteries for it? I'm looking at it right now. I love the color screen. I love the design of it. Do you have to replace batteries?
You don't have to replace the batteries. It comes with a rechargeable battery, which I'm so excited about.
That's great.
It's the first time in this Western market. We're also used to a world where we play all day, and when at night when we go to sleep, we plug in all of our electronics. And with the Tamagotchi device, it wakes up in the morning, the character wakes up and it goes to bed at a certain time. So as it's going to bed, you just plug it in. To be honest, QC tells me it has at least 3 days of play with the device. I can tell you that I was just on vacation. I played with it and it was about almost 2 weeks before I had to recharge it.
That's awesome. And then finally, I know parents like Tamagotchis as well. It encourages kids to take care of something. So I think a lot of moms and dads like that. And the price point, of course, is another reason why parents like it. So what is the cost of the Tamagotchi Uni and where do we buy it?
So actually, the responsibility is interesting. The kids love the responsibility. When we did research, it's one of the favorite things that they actually had. Yeah. So I think that's a great thing, and parents will like the fact that the kids like to take care of it. The price point is a $59.99 SRP, suggested retail price. And in the States, it's available on Amazon. It'll be available on Target, other retailers like Barnes & Noble and H-E-B, a whole bunch of other retailers that are taking it.
Okay, awesome. And is there a website where we can learn more?
Yes, you can go to Tamagotchi-official.com for all information on Tamagotchi. If you go to Tamagotchi.com, there's definitely a link to the Tamagotchi official site.
Thank you so much for your time, Tara. I love that Tamagotchi is back and it's been reimagined for the modern age, including the Tamaverse. Very cool. Thanks again. Have a great summer.
Thank you. You too.
Speaking of kids' toys and the summer, we're going to chat with Meredith Sinclair about great family picks for the rest of July as well as August. Stick with us. More Tech It Out coming right up after this.
Listen to Tech It Out whenever you want. Find the Tech It Out podcast at iTunes or wherever you get your podcasts.
Welcome back to Tech It Out. This show is powered by ASUS for those in search of incredible. ASUS creates technology for today and tomorrow's smart life, and that includes its line of award-winning laptops and desktops, accessories like monitors, mice, and keyboards. There's mobile tech like smartphones and tablets, smartwatches, and much more. For those in search of incredible, visit asus.com/US/radio for more info. That's asus.com/US/radio. Well, summer is in full swing, and so there are millions of parents and guardians out there who may not know how to keep their kids entertained as they're off for the summer in most cases. Even if they're at camp during the day, what about entertaining the kids when they get home? Well, fortunately, we've got on the line author, lifestyle expert, and TV personality Meredith Sinclair. She's here to tell us about some of the latest high-tech fun for families. Hey, Meredith, great to chat with you again.
Hey, Mark. Thanks for having me. It's great to be here.
And happy summer.
Yes, you too. It's finally here.
Indeed, indeed. Why don't we start with a screen-free solution, which I'm sure many parents of young kids would be happy with.
Absolutely. And this one's got the great built-in education bits as well that kids won't even know they're being, taught anything necessarily, but it's because it's so much fun, but there's great educational benefits of this too. It's called the Tony Box, and it's literally a speaker that is built just for kids. It plays music and songs, and it's got a place at the top where you put little figures, and these are figures that are kids' favorite characters. It's like Chase from Paw Patrol and Peppa Pig and Disney characters, and you put the little figurine on the top of the box, and it tells different stories. Like I said, it sings songs. Kids can tap the side of the box to move the story along or to switch songs. So it really puts them in control. It's got really great intuitive controls for kids. So it really encourages independent play, which parents also love in the summer because we love to play with our kids, but also there are times when they need to be able to play on their own. And so the intuitive controls are great. And then another thing that parents love is that it's a completely offline experience for kids, even though it's, like you said, high tech, but it's offline. So there are no ads, there are no microphones, no cameras. So you can really feel safe as a parent, allowing your child to just completely immerse themselves in the speaker and the playtime with this Tony Box. And as I said, different characters do different things. So I love the idea of, if their friends have Tony Boxes too, like you could trade characters for a while. You don't have to buy all of them, or if you have some from different siblings or cousins, you can kind of trade and use the characters for a while and then give them back.
I like that. And I also know that with the My Tonies app, which is like the complimentary app for this device, parents and grandparents can also record stories for their kids, and that they can hear that when they're by themselves, when they put the Tony characters on top.
Yeah.
I love that. It's a nice personal touch as well. And how much is the Tony box and the different Tony's characters?
Yeah, so the Tony box is as $99.99, and then the characters range, they're like, they're under $10, and so it's great. As I said, I was just talking to a friend about this exact product, and I was like, a great idea is to you buy a few, your friends buy a few, maybe a cousin or sibling, and then you just trade them around. I think it's a great way to go.
Another brand that really knows how to mix education and fun so the kids don't realize they're learning is Leapfrog. And I know they merged with VTech. What do you have in the Leapfrog space?
Oh, this is perfect for summer because it's all about ice cream, right? And ice cream, we love ice cream in the summer. So for your youngest kids, I think this would be a great thing for toddlers. It is called the Scoop and Learn ice cream cart. And as we know, if you know anything about Leapfrog, they have the most fun sort of interaction with their toys. So this comes with a magnetic scoop and then all these different toppings and syrups, and kids use these matching cards to create different combinations. They take the little scoop, they make the combinations on the card. So it's teaching them colors and it's teaching them sequencing and flavors and numbers. And then the actual cart has really fun tech in it. So they can ring up their orders. They can push the cart along to find new customers around the neighborhood or in your own home. It speaks to them. Just a really fun, small, it doesn't take up too much space. It's perfect for toddlers. I just think it's a really super fun, interactive toy, and they're going to, really feel like they're like the ice cream person coming into the neighborhood with this toy.
I'm looking at a picture of it. It looks super cute, and for under $50, that's, I think, a great price given what this is. So again, it's the Leapfrog Scoop and Learn ice cream cart that is both fun and educational. Meredith, one of my favorite toys as a kid was Lite-Brite, and they're still around today.
Oh, they sure are. And this, when I first saw this, I was like, as you probably played with Lite-Brite as a kid. I did. My two boys who are now in their 20s, they had one. But now they have this really cool new thing called the Lite-Brite Mini X Connect. So it's several things. First of all, it's mini. So it's a 4x4 grid. It comes with 170 of the same type of colorful pegs that you use. And there's 8 different templates that kids can use. Remember how they had templates with the old ones? They have templates for these, or kids can come up with whatever design they want. In the back are little connectors. So you have your little 4x4, but then if you want to make a bigger design, you can connect them on all 4 sides with other minis to make bigger designs. And they have templates for those too. So let's say you have 4 kids. And so you buy each one of them one, and you take it along for summer travel, and they're in the back seat or on a plane and they're making their own design. You could make a whole panda bear where each kid makes 1/4 of that panda. And then you connect them all and it makes the big panda face, which is really fun. And then to light them up, you don't have to plug it in anymore. You just tap the front of the grid and they light up.
Wow. Lite-Brite, Tamagotchi. What's old is new again. We're going to continue chatting with Meredith Sinclair when we return on Tech It Out. Stay with us.
Want to follow Mark? Google him. Mark with a C and Saltzman with a Z. Breaking down geek speak into street speak. This is Tech It Out. Tech It Out with technology columnist, author, and TV personality Mark Saltzman.
Welcome back to Tech It Out. We're chatting with retired teacher, published author, and lifestyle expert Meredith Sinclair on ways to engage kids during the summer, including some budget-friendly, fun, and interactive educational toys. With that mini Lite-Brite that you told us about before the break, does it plug in like the old one did?
So you don't even need, an outlet.
So it's battery powered?
Yep. And you just tap the front and it lights up. It's just
That's
really
great.
fun. Yeah. So it's great for travel, the backyard, by the pool, pretty much anywhere summer takes you.
And also great for encouraging group play, not just parallel play where kids are hanging out, but doing their own thing. This is, they can share and connect the two.
Absolutely.
And under $10 for one, and then there's a 2-pack as well.
That's right. It's a great price point. It's a great price point.
And we're now going to end off on something a bit more, let's say, practical for parents. If your toddlers are, say, playing in the backyard, you can still keep a virtual eye on them. Or if the family is traveling on a road trip this summer, this is a way to keep tabs on what's happening back at home. Tell us about the Roku Outdoor Camera SE.
Well, like you said, not only for when you're away, we think about cameras in that way, right? I have one. We think about it when we're away so we can keep track of who's at our door. But also, if you're working and you have your kids at home with you and they're in the backyard, that's a great way to keep an eye on what's going on in the backyard. So like you said, they're the Roku outdoor cameras. They come in wired and wireless. And what's really fun too is that you can use your Roku smart home app to, tap into things. And if you're, like you said, if you're away, that's a way to set an alarm or speak to someone who's at your door. But then you can also, we think about watching our favorite shows on our Roku player or our Roku TV. You can also use those cameras and pull that footage right up onto your Roku TV or your player. So you can get even a better eye on what's happening. And then you use the little remote and you just press a button on the remote to see your backyard camera or your driveway camera or your front door camera. Or you can just easily say, hey, Roku, show me the driveway camera. And it'll show you that as well. And many applications. I mean, I have a 21-year-old and a 25-year-old, but when they were teenagers and my husband and I might go away for a night, we could see who was coming and going. So if your kids are, maybe leaving the house at midnight, you can say, what's going on there? So that's another application. They're just great. And they have really crisp video and they have two-way audio, as I said. So you can communicate as well with your kids in the backyard or someone at your front door.
And for between $60 and $70, it's a great deal as well. Available exclusively at Walmart and Walmart.com and Roku.com as well. Yeah, so that's the Roku outdoor camera, both a wired and a wireless option based on your needs and your setup. Great stuff. And then finally, Meredith, is there a website you could recommend to maybe see these products in action?
You know what? You could just the best way to do it is to come to my Instagram, which is at Meredith Plays.
Okay, at Meredith Plays, and it's MEREDITH. Love that. At Meredith Plays on Insta. Thanks so much for your time, Meredith. Have a great summer, and thanks for sharing these terrific ideas with us. All the best.
Hey, thanks for having me, Mark. Happy summer to you.
Okay, so today's first two interviews were tied more to the little ones or the parents of them. We learned what's new with Tamagotchi for 2023. And then Meredith Sinclair, a former teacher and author and TV personality, told us about other tech toys to keep the kids entertained this summer. But this next interview is for the grown-ups because it's about bidet seats for your toilet and the tech that they have, why you should use a bidet over toilet paper. So yeah, it's more for moms and dads. So we're going to talk with a company called Tushy, that's right, about their success and the products that they've got. We'll get to that shortly, but first I did want to thank Visa, a super important partner on Tech It Out. We cover cybersecurity a lot on this show and how you can protect yourself while shopping online and at retail. And Visa is a company that has made some significant investments in fraud prevention over the past 5 years. How much, you ask? $10 billion, according to the company. That's billion with a B. This is to support Visa's brand promise to protect the financial information of both individuals and businesses. Zero liability means peace of mind when you shop using your Visa card, online or at brick and mortar. There could be no half measures when it comes to cybersecurity, which is why the company takes an aggressive and multi-layered approach to combating the rising threat of malicious software and other threats by well-funded and global criminal enterprises. Read more about Visa and how securing the world's payments is priority one at visa.com/security. You might think it's a little cheeky to talk about bidets on a show about technology, but it's no secret many devices in your home today are getting smarter, whether it's your doorbell, your fridge, coffee maker, or bathroom items like a bidet. And so we're now going to learn about a company called Tushy. That name cracked me up too. We are joined by Tushy's founder and chief creative officer, Miki Agrawal. Hi, Miki. Thanks for joining us, and forgive the bad dad puns in my introduction.
Hi. I love it. I love it all day.
Sounds like a fun place to work. Congrats on your successes, by the way. Before we talk bidets and what tech they may have to them, tell us a bit about the company.
Well, first of all, I'm half Japanese, half Indian, and I grew up with bidets, and it's, when you really think about it, wiping with dry paper, like imagine if a bird pooped on you, you wouldn't wipe it off with dry paper, right? You would wash it off with water.
Yeah,
so
you're
why
just smearing it.
You're smearing it around. So like, why are we doing that? The dirtiest part of our bodies, our butt. And we've been deeply indoctrinated to use this dry paper and consume and consume and consume and just make these big paper companies billions of dollars when it's actually killing 15 million plus trees per year, including the Canadian boreal forest, which is one of the biggest carbon sinks in the world. And we're literally chopping them down and making toilet paper to wipe our butts with them disrespectfully. And it doesn't even properly clean you, which causes chronic things like chronic urinary tract infections, hemorrhoids, anal fissures, itching, BV, like all these things, because you're just spreading poop around and we're not, cleaning ourselves properly. So as a result, it's causing a real issue. And so I grown up with bidets, but the Japanese bidets are super expensive. They require plumbing and electrical. You need, it's a very annoying process to install. And so Tushy was born because we wanted to create the best in class, best designed non-electric bidet initially that attaches to your existing toilet and turns any toilet into a bidet in less than 10 minutes. There's no plumbing, no electrical required. Everything comes in the box. It pulls from the wall, the same water you brush your teeth with. It pulls water from the wall. It's not pulling from the tank or the bowl. It comes with a little splitter and a hose, and it splits off where you turn your water off, where it just splits off from there right to the bidet, and it sprays clean water. And it's truly the most game-changing thing you can do for yourself, like actually.
So we're talking about that little knob usually at the base of a toilet or to the side of it, and that's where the clean water comes into the toilet bowl. You split it off and it goes partially to the bidet seat.
That's right. We've sold over 1.5 million of them. People absolutely love Tushy. They shout from the rooftops about it because it's well designed and it's affordable and it truly changes your life.
So I understand people shouting from the rooftops about their bidet or bidet seat if they live in Asia or Europe, but isn't there still a stigma in North America about using bidets, or has it changed? My guest, Miki Agrawal from Tushy, will answer when we return on Tech It Out. Stay with us.
Breaking down geek speak into street speak. Tech It Out, hosted by Mark Saltzman.
Welcome back to Tech It Out. We are chatting with Miki Agrawal from Tushy, a very popular bidet company. In fact, they make bidet attachments for your toilet. So we're not talking standalone devices that you have to pay a lot for and you need the room for. These leverage your existing toilet and plumbing, and there's some cool tech to it as well. Before the break, Miki, I questioned whether bidets are really catching on in North America. I know for decades in Asia and in Europe, this is commonplace. But talk to us about North America. There's no longer a stigma about it?
I mean, there's, so many random stigmas, but the original stigma came from a couple of things. One, originally a French person invented the bidet and, the English hate the French. So that was the first thing where it was oh, we don't like bidets. We can't even pronounce it. The second thing is during World War II, when American soldiers went to Europe and fought in World War II, they basically saw bidets in French brothels and they associated bidets as something sexual. And coming back to America, they were we shun bidets, but they actually imported pizza after World War II. And that's when, Domino's, Pizza Hut, all these big pizza companies came, but then they shunned the bidet. And so the plumbing and all the homes and everything got built post World War II without plumbing for bidets. And so that's why we want to create an attachment instead of something that you have to put next to your toilet. There's water fountains that people think that dogs just drink out of, those things next to your toilet. So that's not what we're doing.
When I've talked with my friends about it, many of them think that bidets are only for women. Is that a common misconception?
Surprisingly, we're 50-50, men and women. And yes, initially, people think that it's, when you're on your period or pre and post making love and things like that. And men have hair back there. Men want to be clean as well. And so really the men actually shout from the rooftops as much as the women. And the men just, feel like they're just ready to tackle the day.
All right. Without further ado, Miki, let's talk tech. So you've got things like I think it's called Smart Spray Nozzle.
Yep.
Can you talk to us about your product lineup and what tech we may find in them? I know you said originally, you didn't embrace electronics and all that, and I get it. Let's hear how you've evolved.
Yeah. So our initial product was to just create the best in class, most beautiful, cool, familiar looking product for the masses, which is under $100 product. Everyone can afford that. We even have a payment plan where you can pay, 4 payments of $25 and stuff like that. So super, super affordable to everyone. And we also want to make sure it had very, very specific patented requirements, because the original, there had been some bidets that exist. If there are obviously, a bunch you can find on Amazon, but what makes ours super special beyond the design and the brand itself is the fact that it self-cleans twice before you use it. So the Smart Spray nozzle cleans the nozzle before and after each use. And so if there's multiple people in the home, or if it's in a public area, or if it's in a, like where there's roommates and there's multiple people using it, you can feel really, really good that a non-electric bidet is cleaned before every use. And I think a lot of non-electric bidets, you have to turn it the other direction to self-clean. And then before you turn it back the other way to actually clean yourself. Ours is all in one fell swoop. So when you're turning it to the right, it basically cleans itself, then cleans you, then cleans itself, then goes back in to its little shell.
Can you clarify what you mean, Miki, about self-cleaning? Obviously, the nozzle doesn't touch you, right? So is it the seat you're referring to?
No, the nozzle doesn't touch you, but but there could be some splashback. There could be a little bit on the nozzle itself. It's in the bowl. And so you still want to just make sure that it's super clean.
Got it. Thanks for the clarification.
For sure. There's a second thing that we incorporated in our non-electric bidet, our Tushy 3.0. It's that we create this schmutz shield. It's sort of like this build-up resistant design. And so basically, there's like sometimes like a lot of bidets have like little grooves where you're like, like moving the nozzle, depending on who's in the home. Like if I'm smaller than my partner, I would have to like move the nozzle, like just adjust it a little bit so that it sprays me the right way, right? It's just like perfectly clean. And then the other thing, we create a universal fit. And so it works on pretty much every toilet now. The regular bidet attachments, they have up to a certain amount of toilets it can fit on, whereas we have created one where it not only prevents grime, but then also it can adjust to almost every toilet, which is really exciting.
Great. Yeah, I've had on the show in previous years Bio Bidet and Moen, both of which have bidet options for sure. Yeah. And I understand that one or more of your models, they have a remote.
Yeah. Our Tushy Classic 3.0 is the one I've been talking with you about. It's the one that's $99. It's our most popular one. Then we have the Tushy Spa 3.0, which is basically has warm water. So if your sink is next to your toilet, then you can easily connect the warm water from under your sink, for the hot water, to the bidet. And so you can actually have a nice warm water experience, which is also non-electric, which is really nice. But then we launched our Tushy Ace, which is our electric bidet seat. And this one has a warm seat, warm water. It does require a little plug near your toilet, and it has the most beautiful remote. It looks like an Apple product remote. It's the most simple to use. It's the most user-friendly. It's the most American. Like the idea that like the existing ones out there are very Japanese, which I'm half Japanese. So like, but they're very, very confusing because they have so many buttons. People have no idea what they're for. And ours is like bum wash front. Like it's just, warm, like how, increased temperature of the water, increased seat temperature. So just very, very simple. And it's only $399, and most of these electric bidet seats are, upwards of $600-700 and then thousands of dollars. I mean, there's a $10,000 bidet, that Toto sells. And so we want to make it, again, extremely affordable, the right tech that's required. We want warm seat, warm water, blow dries your butt. It also has a blow dryer for your butt. If you go to hellotushy.com, you could just find Tushy Ace electric bidet and you'll see the remote. It's so gorgeous.
I'm going to ask you more about that built-in air dryer in a moment. And then we'll wrap up with Miki Agrawal from Tushy. Boy, I never thought I'd say a company name like that on this program. Learning about high-tech bidets, and we'll talk pricing as well. And we'll continue on with Tech It Out after that. So stick with us. More coming up right after this short break. I'm your host, Mark Saltzman for the Radio America Network. Be right back.
Follow Mark Saltzman on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram. Listen to Tech It Out whenever you want.
We are chatting with Miki Agrawal. She is the CCO and founder of Tushy at hellotushy.com. They make bidet attachments and seats for your existing toilet rather than purchasing an expensive standalone bidet, or you may not even have the room for it, even if you can afford it. Now, you said it's got a built-in dryer, so it would be remiss for me not to ask you about any downsides to using a bidet. Will your water bill be higher, for example, or do you have to wait for that dryer to do its thing before you get dressed again? Like, what if you're in a rush?
Yeah. We also have the most soft bamboo butt towels. So in Italy, no one even uses toilet paper. They use towels because you're clean. After you wash your butt, you're basically like toweling off. So that might be weird for people. So we have also bamboo toilet paper as well. So it's at least not killing, beautiful trees, but it's, a bamboo grows like a weed. And so we have bamboo toilet paper that you use 80% less toilet paper, which is so much better than just using toilet paper.
Like 12 or 14 sheets of triple ply.
The average American uses 57 sheets of toilet paper per day because it's in a roll. And so you're just basically like wrapping it around your hand and you're using way more than you need. And so it's just terrible for the planet, terrible for your money, for your pocketbook. And it doesn't do the job. So you have to wash and then you can pat dry. So we say wash with our Tushy bidet and pat dry with our bamboo toilet paper. No.
And will your water bill be higher?
No. So you're using 1 pint of water per use versus, and when you think about toilet paper consumption, which by the way, you're using 80% less, it takes 37 gallons of water to make a single roll of toilet paper. And so the production of cutting down the trees, making the toilet paper, producing them, wrapping in plastic, getting them to your store delivering it to your home, you unwrapping it and putting in your thing. All of that is why toilet paper is getting more and more and more and more and more expensive. So when you're thinking about net, your water bill, which is using a little bit of water to wash yourself, versus spending all this money over and over and over and over again. Like we say, within 3 months, you're paid back on what you spent on your Tushy bidet.
That's a good stat.
And then also during COVID, when people ran out of toilet paper and people were going crazy, people who have Tushys and bidets, we were like just chilling out and they felt so safe and so good.
No, bidets get a bum rap. No more bad jokes from me. Yeah, you can tell I'm a dad. Miki, it's been great chatting with you. Congrats on the successes of Tushy. So it's hellotushy.com. Prices start at about $99.
One last thing. So we do have a travel Tushy as well for $29 when you're traveling and you miss your bidet. You can, right now I'm in Costa Rica. And so my travel Tushy is with me at all times and it's $29. So you can travel with it as well. So.
Well, okay. That's certainly affordable, Miki. Again, Miki Agrawal has been our guest, Tushy's founder. Safe travels back from Costa Rica. All the best. Thanks for chatting with us today. Really enjoyed this.
Same. Thanks so much.
Awesome. She's clearly very passionate about her work, which is great to see. Again, that was Miki Agrawal. You are listening to Tech It Out. I'm your host, Mark Saltzman. Hope you've been enjoying the program so far. Don't forget, next week on the show, I'll be returning from Seoul, South Korea on Friday and talk to you about Unpacked, which is Samsung's big unveiling of the Galaxy Z devices on Wednesday. This is the latest Z Fold. This is their foldable phone that unfolds to a tablet, which is pretty cool. And then they've got their flip phone. The Galaxy Flip 5 is what it's expected to be called, which is like a flip phone from yesteryear, but with a high-tech twist, along with a new smartwatch and perhaps a big tablet powered by Android, of course. So excited about my trip to Korea. Gonna have some good kimchi, tell you that. Maybe some good barbecue as well. Also on the show next weekend, we'll chat with Verizon about its emergency preparedness and emergency response technology to help those during hurricane season. Especially. I'm also excited about interviewing SanDisk next weekend on Tech It Out to talk about students and using USB drives to not just back up your important files just in case something happens, but also transferring those files between devices and how they've got something for iPhone and iPad and Android and Windows and Macs and so on. So that'll be next weekend with SanDisk. And we'll likely chat with Defunk. This is a headphone company out of Sweden, and they've got a new pair of headphones called Mondo that have a transparent design and super long battery life at more than 45 hours. If you're on social media, drop by and say hi. Let me know what you think of Tech It Out. Maybe you've got tech questions for yourself. You can always hit me up. So I'll spell my name in a moment, but I'm on Twitter, Threads, LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and TikTok. It's Mark Saltzman, MarcSaltzman. Again, it's Mark with a C, Saltzman with a Z. even just drop by and say hi. Let me know where you're tuning in to Tech It Out from. I always love hearing what city or state or province, if you're up in Canada, where you're tuning into the program and how you're listening. Is it in podcast form? Is it on your local talk radio station? And if so, what station is it? And as we wrap up another episode of Tech It Out, a huge thank you to Asus for those in search of incredible. They make some killer laptops, including gaming gear, the ROG or Republic of Gamer line of devices, and they make accessories like monitors and mice and keyboards. Check it all out at asus.com/US/radio. That's asus.com/US/radio. Have a great rest of your day, everyone. Looking forward to catching up with you next weekend for another episode of Tech It Out. Bye-bye for now.